Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. Manchester United lost in the Manchester Derby 6-3. A lot of talking points on this match. A lot of talking points. Of course, this was a game where we needed to see if we have made, as I've mentioned in my preview, whether we have made reasonable progress, how far we have come from, especially after our last loss in the Premier League, which was after our second loss, and we went on that winning streak, which ended today against Manchester City. A lot of talking points. Of course, as I told you guys in my preview that I didn't watch the game, I actually watched some part of the first half, but I was trying to find a proper link that wasn't lagging or stopping, and it just shows you that a lot of persons were watching the game or watching the game on that link, so I didn't get much. The link wasn't fluent, but I saw more than enough to know what happened in the game, especially with this scoreline. And the scoreline can be misleading, and I say misleading because persons may say, well, we're back to square one, we haven't made much progress. Manchester United is not going to have much success this season because we got trashed against Man City. There is a positive and a good amount of negatives in this game. The positive is that we didn't go down without a fight, especially in the second half. Based on what Pep said in his post press conference, he basically, by his own admission, said that Man City was second fiddle playing catch up to Manchester United in the second half, because we got goals. We got 3 goals in the second half, and they got at least 1 or 2 goals in the second half. But despite all of that, we have to be real right here. So, if we were under the reign of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Jose Mourinho, would we have been going for it like that? Excuse the trashing for a second. We know that we got trashed 6-6. But if it was under Jose Mourinho, or even going back to the days of Louis van Gaal, let's not even put Moyes into the mix, because he was a pragmatic manager since the day he became Everton manager. And my lips are so dry. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, and Louis van Gaal, these previous managers for Manchester United, would they have gone for it, leaving the back vulnerable, knowing that there's a good chance they may concede, but they're going because they need a goal, they're going for the goal itself to score? Would they have gone for it, given that they have been trashed? I don't think so. Definitely not Jose Mourinho or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I wouldn't think so. So props have to be given to Erik ten Hag to be going for it. And I said this in my preview as well. I said that if we went to the Etihad Stadium, because that's what we basically did in the first half. That's why we got trashed by 4 or 5 goals in the first half. If we went to the Etihad Stadium and we had like a Michael Arteta plan to play, just playing out like that, in plain sight, not caring if we concede or not, but just getting the goals, then we're going to get trashed. I specifically said that in my preview. Go to the preview and watch it. I know I said it. And watch it yourself. Hey, nothing is not wrong with being brave. Nothing is wrong with being courageous or having belief, which I'm going to get to in a second, because everything I've mentioned something about belief in his post press conference. Nothing is not wrong with going for it, but it's the discipline which he also mentioned. We didn't have discipline in the game. Based on what I saw, the highlights, we did not have discipline in the game. City had space for days. Haaland has pace. Who was playing there? Foden is slow. He has a reasonable amount of pace. Bernardo Silva, that is creative, with that space he can pick out a pass. So when City was attacking us, there was a boatload of space that they could utilize, and they utilized that against us. The first goal from a header, Haaland got a hat-trick. Foden got a hat-trick. I don't think that has been done in a Premier League. No, I've seen that done in La Liga, where Barcelona or a Spanish side got 2 players that got a hat-trick. Luis Suarez in 2016 against Valencia, and Lionel Messi got a hat-trick in that same game. Funnily enough, Garner was the manager for Valence at the time. So don't be blinded by the we are making progress. Don't be blinded by the result. Yes, we know that is a poor, embarrassing result, but look at the positive. We went for it. We're not as good as City. We have good players, but we're not as good as City when it comes down to cohesion, chemistry, unity, style of play. They have been playing like that for like 4 or 5 seasons. And with the introduction of a striker, which they haven't played with a striker for like 2 seasons consistently, that was like the missing piece to the puzzle. So having Holland into the mix completes the pie. They're basically set. They're basically set. Bringing this full to circle to Manchester United, few comments were made from our gaffer as relates to this defeat, this heavy defeat. He was asked on why, I'm paraphrasing, he was asked on why the game went the way it went, and he was basically saying, man, when was the last time I took notes and said it in a video? I think the last time I did that was when I started my YouTube channel in like January and February of 2014. I usually used to have notes. As in particular when it came on to transfers, I used to have notes. But this game was I consider this game very significant because number one, it's a telling sign of how much progress you have made or lack thereof. Secondly, based on his comments is going to be based on how we played. So I needed to write this down. And he basically said, look like a brother needed a pair of glasses, right? He said lack of belief and we were not disciplined. Yeah, we were not disciplined because if we were disciplined, City wouldn't have got those goals in the first half. City wouldn't have got that type of space in the first half. City would not be creating chance just passing us by like that in the first half. And even in the second half. Maybe it wasn't as much as the second half given the team talk between Man United, but the lack of belief. I'll say this, man, because this pundit asks a question. He was basically saying that as a professional footballer, a player should have belief. Have you ever played professional football? No, I'm not saying that his statement is incorrect. I ain't saying that it's incorrect. But my man is talking as if he's been on the field himself, like he's done the groundwork as a professional football player in his heyday. And he's basically saying, as a professional footballer, you have to have self-belief. You have to make sure that you have the game by the balls and, you have to just crush the players. And it's not easy to have self-belief. If it was easy, most of the football players would have the belief. They would be playing like Maradona, Pele, Riquelme, Ronaldinho, all of those great players that have self-belief. The problem is that when it comes on to the football game, see, I think it's either Pirlo or Johan Cruyff said this. I think it's Johan Cruyff or Pirlo. And funny enough, these two players are not known for their for their physical ability, like for pace. They're known for their technical ability and their mentality. Either one of these two, Pirlo and Johan Cruyff, said that the football is not played with your feet, it's played with your head. Some persons don't understand that statement. The head is the headquarter of your body, controls every being of your body. So what you do with your head, with your feet, is in conjunction with what you're thinking with your head. You have to think before you know what to do with the ball at your feet. So the thing is this, when it comes down to belief, if your mindset, and I'm saying this as if I'm a professional football therapist, I'm not, but I play football. My side lost this morning. Our brother got a goal as well, but it was a consolation. So that's not much to, beat the drums about. But if a professional player or Man United doesn't have belief, then of course we're going to become second best. No matter how good you are as a football player, if your mindset is not proper, then that's going to show on the pitch that your mindset is not proper. Your mindset is not right with God. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You could be talented, but that doesn't mean that you're applying it into highly stressful or needed situations, like for example against Manchester City. Because yes, we have beaten Liverpool, yes, we have beaten Arsenal, but this big dog in Manchester derby, we became second. It's not even we became second best. We lost this game. So my man was basically saying that lack of self-belief. Yeah, cause see, not to get long on self-belief, but I believe it was the great Mike Tyson that said that a tough person were doing shadow boxing, the behind the scenes. When they didn't have no stress. It was just them, so they didn't have nobody to compete with. It was just that punch bag, just fighting. But he said that all of that went out through the window when my fist hit that man's jaw. What he's basically saying that, yeah, you can train, can do a training daily. But when it comes down to the game itself, are you going to stand up? Are you going to show out? Are you going to represent who you're playing for? That's what he's basically saying. So this self-belief, according to everything, has to be worked on. Another thing he said that we lacked discipline. Showed in the second half, our players were not disciplined. Players were like just given this boatload of space like it was the Red Sea itself departed. Like when Moses departed the Red Sea, you see this boatload of space where the children of Israel walked through to the other side. City were given that type of space. You cannot give the city that type of space. Not even Liverpool you can give that type of space. You see me? And the fact is that City has become more clinical. So if you go give them chances to create, there is a 6'6" youth from Norway that can put them chance away. And he did. He got a hat trick today. So we have to tweak and tighten up on that defense. Varane got an injury. Another thing he said that we're not following rules. I ain't going to spend much on that because that's in conjunction with the first two I mentioned of. Undisciplined, because if you're undisciplined, that means you're not following the rule. Because if your manager wants you to be disciplined and you go against that, that's not following the rules. And he talks about not playing as a team. Well, I mean, this is a learning process for everything. It was a good goal from Anthony. I need to say that it was a very good take from Anthony. For corner, top notch goal. Anthony Martial came on and he got 2 goals, one from the spot and one was a follow up. Is me a good goal. But this is where I want to speak about right now before I finish this video. He was asked about Cristiano Ronaldo. And he was asked if Cristiano Ronaldo is going to be like the third, he's going to play third wheel. Let's call it the third wheel. He's like a third wheeler to Martial and Rashford as striker. Whether he's going to be like the third striker in the pecking order, like Rashford, Martial, then Cristiano Ronaldo. So he was asked about that and why he didn't participate in a much needed game like the Manchester Derby. You know what my man said? He basically said that he didn't play Cristiano Ronaldo. This Bridgen said that Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play because of he has a big respect for Ronaldo's career. I agree with that. Some persons may not get it, but the reason why I say that is because he knows that Cristiano Ronaldo is washed. He's not as good as he used to be, and he knew that in a game like this, where you have to be more tactful and more like a chess game, a chessboard game, having a player that doesn't have a good first touch, or he doesn't think as quickly, I should say, in a game like that. He knew that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to flop in that game. That's why he didn't play. And he said that because of what he has achieved in his prime, ever since he left Manchester United, or even when he was at Manchester United, in his prime, all the way through to Real Madrid, into his first 2 seasons at Juventus, or his 3 seasons at Juventus, he's basically saying that he's not going to disrespect Ronaldo. He doesn't want to tarnish Ronaldo's reputation because of his poor form. He doesn't want to put him out in the deep end so that he can suffer more criticism that he's already getting. So he didn't play him. That is a nice, smart move. If I have a Bridgen that used to be good in his heyday and he's not doing good as he used to, and he's won a lot of stuff, trophies and all that, and me to go put him in this game, and I know that he doesn't have the feet to meet the expectations of what I want from my players on the pitch, he's going to flop. He's going to do trash. So to save face, Ronaldo was not played. Eric Ten Hag didn't play Ronaldo. To save face, he didn't play him because, again, if this Bridgen started, if this Bridgen even came on, we wouldn't get a goal. At least from him, we wouldn't get a goal. We would not get a goal. So that was a smart approach from everything. No, I know that some Cristiano Ronaldo fans are pissed off about it. That this brethren that's 38, almost 30 years old, is not didn't get at least 5 minutes of cameo in a much needed game like Manchester Derby. Dude, there's some things that needs there's some games that needs to be there's some games that players need to be left out for their own good. Some players don't should not be playing in certain games, given the approach of the opposition or what the tactful self play is needed by the manager. Certain players are not suited for certain self plays, man. I've said this before the season started. Cristiano Ronaldo should not be starting. I don't care if the dude is in his prime or not. When it comes down to a system like what Ertang wants, position based pressing, he doesn't want Ronaldo as a striker. Ronaldo is not good with his back to goal. He's not good with his back to goal. Yes, he has a few flicking moments, but when it comes down to controlling ball in possession with his back to goal, he's not good like that. That's where you need a Martial. Martial is good like that. Martial is good in that tight spaces, and he thinks quick with his head and his feet. So wrapping up all this, what is the take home from this defeat against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium? We were courageous. Yes, we were undisciplined, but we were courageous in going for it. That's why we got trashed. If we were very conservative, if we were more so suppressed, like we suppressed the space given to them, if we're more selfish, not selfish, but I'm missing the word right now. If we were, conservative, let's use conservative with the space, City wouldn't have, well, they may have scored like 2 or 3 goals or 1 or 2 goals. Definitely they wouldn't have got the amount of goals they have gotten in that game. Definitely in the second half, in the first half. But the take home we can take from this, although persons may not see this as a Nobel Prize to take home and celebrate about, and it's not, but we're courageous, we went for it. Although we had, lack of self-belief according to Eric Ten Hag, we still went for it. We didn't show an inferiority complex as much as we used to back in previous times in the Manchester Derby. Especially when we were playing away from home, when we were congested, we suppressed the space, we were conservative. So we didn't go full out attack and get trash. Man United did that. And it led to their demise, detriment, and at their expense, they lost 6-3. But that's a positive in itself, although some person may say, no man, I'm not taking no trash or no garbage, loss from City. The game is already played. So we have to go move on. We have Tottenham, I think we have Tottenham this month. We have Chelsea to play against. Who else? We have play against Liverpool, Arsenal, City. Yeah, so we have some good games coming up. So we shouldn't allow this result to belittle us or beat us down. Again, sometimes you need to lose big to know where the problem is. Sometimes you need to throw yourself in the deep end to see what level you are at. Because if you go play safe, you're not going to see how good you are. If you play safe, you're not going to see what you're capable of doing. So this is a good thing in itself. It's a good thing that Man United went all out and got trashed. So we can learn from our situations, not to do that again. Some persons are afraid of failure. This result is a blessing in itself. I'll say it. This result is a blessing in itself. It shows the players that should be starting, who is good enough in those type of games, what the style of play, what is the plan that we should proceed with when we come like a game, when we play, a game like that. Things like that, little stuff like that. So, I understand Mama Lips is so dry, it's actually 13 degrees Celsius. This game should show us that yes, we had cojones to actually go for it, but you could say we were naive, but we had somewhat of a self belief because we went for it. Although we didn't believe that we could actually grab the game by the scruff of the neck, by the horns itself, and grab by the balls and say, all right, we're going to own Manchester City like they're our land. We're going to own them like they're our property. We're going to like treat Manchester City like how Columbus treated those slaves and take them women, take them daughters, take all of their possessions and make it our own. That was not the belief that Man United had. They had the belief to go out for it, but to actually get the game, believe that we can actually win. That was not shown in the first half. Yeah, we got a couple of goals in our third goal in the second half, but let's not take this to there's progress, man. Trust the process. I know it's cliche to say, but trust the process. Trust the process. I'm not beat by this result. Again, our defense needs to be worked on. Let us not see this as a result and say, you know what? I guess Harry Maguire was actually, he was not the problem because Harry Maguire didn't play against Man City and still Man City still beat us without Harry Maguire. So I guess Harry Maguire should be in the mix for next match. Cut that out. Cut that. I don't want to be hearing that. Harry Maguire, hell, if Harry Maguire was playing, we would have lost 10-3. So we should not put Harry Maguire because of his dire performances of late or ever since 3 seasons. We just have to work on ourselves, man. I'll say this. This is a learning curve, and I think everything with time is going to work on that. We don't have bad players. Our system is not written in the stone of perfection. We're not at the summit or at the peak of how we want to play, and that is going to be worked upon as the season progresses on. Leave your comments down below in the comments because I can rumble probably for like 44 minutes or something like that. Leave your comments down below, but I wanted to share my 2 penny cents on this result because I know some person will take it away and say that we haven't made much progress. Progress has been made. Anybody that knows football or has played football knows that progress, seeing how Manchester United played in past times and how we're playing this season, we have made progress. We have made progress. Maybe it's not as much progress, maybe it's not as overt progress, but there's some nuance, subtle signs of progression. Comments down below, like and subscribe to the channel. I'll show it to you guys in the next video podcast. I believe we have a Euro fixture. We have a Euro game this week. I believe I might do a preview to that, but look out for it. I'll show it to you guys next video podcast. I'm out.